Morning, girls. Morning, friend. Have a good day. All right, but have a good day, partner. All right. Good morning, Lions. Welcome back to the pride of the city, and happy Wednesday to you. Thank you for joining us today, students. It is a chilly day, so let's make sure we're bundling up in the morning. But just remember, even though it gets colder and maybe a little darker, school still starts at 7:30, so hustle to school each and every day to be on time.
Without the support of the city being behind our schools, there's not much of a chance that we could be successful.
We took a chance and put out some data that was not very positive about how we have many students that are 17, 18, 19 years old but still classified as freshmen, sitting in classes with freshmen.
This data that we're talking about around these students that are really disrupting the entire school community in many ways, it's not something a lot of principals would like to sort of let, I don't know, the city government, not only that, but also their own superintendent and district administration know.
There is no secret in Peoria that they had had a history of white flight. They had one high school that perhaps was still considered a decent academic setting, but the other high schools had slipped. And so the city fathers, the mayor, the city council, the community leadership, the business leadership, very, very concerned.
The Partnership Council was a group that we put together my first year through the SIG grant, and it was a group of community leaders which included city councilmen, the mayor's office, superintendent, school board members, myself, as well as some other community leaders.
And if people really understood the gains that have been made in the last few years here, they would be shocked.
I think as a community, we really realized how important it was that we said, look, we're definitely not going in the right direction. This isn't something that just happened. It's been literally going for decades.
If we kick kids out of school, that's pretty easy, but they go on the street, so now they become a city problem, a police problem many times.
If you have a struggling or failing school, you're going to have a struggling or failing community because you're not producing productive citizens.
And so after a year and a half of really laying out a plan, we were fortunate enough to start Peoria North, which is basically a school within a school concept for students who've been here for at least a year but are classified as a freshman based on credits.
The goal was to give them a smaller environment, smaller class sizes, and a different location where they could focus on their studies. A lot of the distractions that are here in the main campus, they don't have at Peoria North.
We put them in a position where they can recover those credits, they get a little bit more one-on-one support, but they're not in the mainstream of the 1,300 students. And we're seeing success with that already, with students coming back to main campus, either at the semester or at the year, and they're back at grade level.
And interestingly enough, it's the simple concept of taking those 60 or 70 students out that second, third year basically allowed us to settle this 1,500. All of a sudden, this thing kind of goes down another level in terms of calmness and focus.
There was a tone set in the building that you're here to learn, and the students would look around and like, where are these kids that used to disrupt? Well, they're not sitting in those classes anymore. Instead of having deans like we all had probably in high school, we have basically 5 administrators. We don't care. So one of the things that we've put together over the last several years is we have a lot of community leaders come through for tours.
I think when people came in and they saw the principal of the school and the union president both talking very excitedly about academic progress, about our initiatives, about videotaping in our classroom, that really piqued people's interest.
So what happens as a result then, the city representatives start to share the story with realtors, okay, and others, and saying, wait a minute, we've got to help share the story because it's a success for all of us.
When they come for these visits, we want to make sure that they're in the hallways during passing time, and then we also share our data and our successes we've had, but we're always honest and share our challenges as well.
It's so important to transform this school, and it has been a community effort. We do say it's the pride of the city, and we want people to come back to the pride of the city.